right, gentlemen, let's get to this week's college football playoff rankings. As we see them here again, we can talk about anything from 10 on down, but the big ones here: Louisville 10, Missouri 9, Alabama 8, Texas 7, Oregon 6, Florida State 5, and your new top 4: Georgia 1, Ohio State 2, Michigan 3. Those are unchanged. But Washington finally cracks the top 4. The Huskies,
rightly so.
The Huskies are in as of today,
and rightly so.
Kyle, where do you want to start on this one?
I mean, to be honest, the top 4. The only way the top 4 surprises me is that the committee finally did the right thing. And for those who think it's just because Jordan Travis is injured, no, I think this is a committee finally respecting the Beavers the way that they should. There's probably a joke in there somewhere, but what I'm going to say is, an upcoming, the biggest problem with Oregon State right now is their damn schedule, and having the conference and schedule share Washington and Oregon both. It's just completely unacceptable that they are ranked. In my opinion, they're a better team, for example, than Oklahoma. And Oklahoma almost lost to UCF and lost to a team that UCF trounced 45-3, but nobody wants to talk about that. By the way, team in question is also 20th. That makes a lot of sense. No, it doesn't. I'm still kind of baffled why Notre Dame is ranked below LSU. I like that Mizzou is still in the top 10. I hate that Texas is still 7 for no good reason, despite their only successes being against teams that I mentioned that UCF had a heck of a day against. And much to the chagrin of many people who dislike corruption in the collegiate ranks, Liberty has made the top 25. And what in the entire fuck is Clemson doing here? I blame you, Notre Dame.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we got to take
that
one.
You think Texas is too high? Just real clear.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they beat Alabama, but they lost to Oklahoma, who again, shouldn't be 13. But
okay.
I do like Ole Miss at 12 there. I hate Ole Miss should be at 11. Why the hell is
Penn State still being?
Why are they top fucking 15 team? What are we doing?
Yeah, it's laughable, man. They are not.
Man.
They are not the 11th best team in the country at all. I did have to chuckle because they were between, I forget who all the talking heads on that pointless show on ESPN are. But it was Herb Street,
Galloway, Greg McElroy.
McElroy was going off, and I kind of agreed with his point about why Oregon State fell from 10 to 16
big Steve.
when Tennessee's getting beat week after week and was only falling like 1 or 2 spots. But he's like, I don't get it. And I just wanted, I was screaming at the TV, SEC bias. Like, what is there to figure out, my man?
Is that why Texas is 7th, SEC bias?
I mean, well, when you beat
everybody,
if you beat, the second best SEC team, that has to prop you up. So in a way, it's SEC bias by default,
That's the only
but
point.
Yeah, I don't understand why Oregon State tumbled as far as they did with a close loss to the now number 4 team. And again, those when you're talking outside of the top 8 at this point, I get it. There's going to be bowl seating in there, but it's not going to have impact on, it shouldn't have too much impact at the top. I think Washington getting in here is both, rewarding them for the win. And I think they'd be lying if the injury to Jordan Travis wasn't taken into consideration.
Had to be.
Like, as unfortunate as it is, Florida State does become a worse team because of it. So I was not surprised to see them come down.
To be fair though, Jim, I've been saying as a former State fan myself, we're actually 2 weeks late on that change though, because we were saying, I know all of us were saying that should have been the case with Jordan Travis in the helm. Right. So certainly, and Washington's gone through that gauntlet of teams in the last month though. They got rewarded. I think the real story here, guys, is now that we're here, and this is the way the rankings should be, whatever. Georgia's put some distance on themselves and everybody else, to be honest, number one. The real story is going to be what's to come. What's to come. Because obviously Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan work something out this Saturday. Florida State has Florida and then Louisville in the AC title game. The possibilities. What if Alabama beats Georgia in the AC title game 2 weeks? Washington still has to play. Technically Oregon is not settled for that yet. I think there's a case for Arizona to get in there if they win, apparently.
I think so, yeah. I think the Pac-12 title game is not set.
Not set yet, but there's a lot of things there. And obviously the big focus is really Florida State now, because is there a scenario? I mean, we discussed it in the past, last week, and we did that, but we now, as we get closer now to conference championship weekend, do we see a scenario where Florida State, unbeaten, still missed this playoff? And if so, what are the scenarios? I have opinions on that. I have opinions on what they need to do to offset that possibility.
I mean, obviously they're going to have to go undefeated for sure.
Number one,
if they lose, or if they win, this weekend against Florida and the ACC title game by both games by less than a touchdown, I think
it hurts them.
Depending how the Pac-12 title game goes, and the SEC title game goes, and how the game goes this weekend, there may be some trouble there. But if Florida State takes care of business, if they barely will get in, I do still think they will get in.
Right. If they barely beat a top 10 Louisville team, because that's exactly where they belong in the rankings, and I blame you. Yeah, of course, with the backup quarterback, they'll advance with the Cardinal Joe's phenomenon.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing. I think there's a possibility, depending on how the ACC title game goes and how everything shakes out. And I'm afraid to say this because I don't want the shrapnel from Kyle's head exploding, but depending on how, if Texas loses, if Washington wins, if let's say both Michigan and Ohio State lose, if Louisville upsets, if chaos reigns supreme and Louisville upsets Florida State in the ACC title game, I'm just saying.
Shrapnel.
I just want to see his reaction.
Shrapnel.
No, which I don't think it's going to happen. I think Florida State's going to take care of
business.
You
shouldn't want it to happen, Jim. You know who loses? America. Why would you?
He's a Notre Dame fan. He doesn't give a shit. He's looking at the chaos.
I don't give a fuck, Kyle.
I'm the one of the. Well, I guess
there's one team at this point that I want to win the national title, and they're sitting at 3
by proxy, right? By marriage.
Yeah, I'm married into this with a capital Maze M.
That was good.
Oh shit! I just realized what color Marge's hair is. It's perfect.
No, I think Georgia's going to win out. I do think Michigan's going to win out. I think Washington's going to win out. There's your 1. There's your 2. There's your 3.
But listen, of all of those that you mentioned, Washington clearly has the most difficult road, and I don't think it's goddamn close.
Actually, right?
Oh, they absolutely do.
I saw the stats today though. Apparently, Florida State has the 4th toughest schedule this year. Apparently, Washington number 1, Evansville's number 4. Apparently, in the country.
How?
Don't look at me. I don't do the metrics on this. This is according to
this.
I'd love to see the source on that one, and I hope it's not.
That's what they said. They said that
slap him repeatedly
based on the metrics. They said they have
what metrics? Where did you see it? Was the source trust me, bro?
This is what they were saying today during the reveal of the rankings 2 hours ago. That Washington had number 1 schedule this year.
Is your source? Stop it.
I mean, can you make a case against somebody else had a hard schedule than Florida State?
Washington, Oregon.
The 5 recordings I've had, including one with you, EJ, that I want to choke you right now.
I'm not saying I disagree. I'm just saying this the metric they use. So technically, based on these rankings, Florida State's beaten how many of these top 25 teams they beaten this year? Beat Clemson 24. They beat LSU 14. They're going to play number 10 in 2 weeks.
And they don't belong there, and you goddamn know it.
So
I'm what?
that's
wrong.
3. Washington, if they go undefeated, will have beaten the current number 6 team twice.
Oh no! They have the hardest. They were number 1. They were number 1 according to their metrics.
And Florida State was 2.
Number 4, not 2.
Oh, they were 4.
4.
Which, if that's the case, why the hell was Florida State ever ahead of them?
Well, I don't know. We said this 2 weeks ago. They should have swapped that a long time ago. I think the Oregon State win put them over the top. I guess that's what
I guess. I mean, again, I think Georgia. I think Georgia. Once these next couple of weeks shake out, I think it'll be Georgia, Michigan, Washington, and Florida State.
Let me say this though. I do think, assuming we get some sort of chaos in the next 2 weeks, I think the only team I feel like is borderline immune from getting knocked out of the 4 is Georgia. They can lose Alabama in 2 weeks, and I think they might still be okay.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, if it's a, I think if it's a, I guess it's probably even if it's a throttling by Alabama, which I don't see happening. As long as Georgia beats Georgia Tech this weekend, I think they're pretty much locked. It'll just a matter of it.
Order, Jim Neese.
What's that?
Tall order.
Yeah, right. It'll just be a matter if it's 1 or 4.
Probably 4.
I know the game I'm cheering for right now for in-state stuff. I am a Kentucky fan this week, and I hope the Wildcats eat the damn Cardinal.
Playing Louisville this weekend. Yeah.
God.
I got to root for Louisville because I need that strength of schedule to help.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you need Louisville.
You would.
I'm no choice, dude. That's my team.
Shut up, Solar.
Hey,
both make me kind of sick. I'm not gonna front. Like,
okay, well then let's play out a fun scenario. Let's assume Georgia wins out. Let's assume Michigan wins out. Let's assume Washington wins out.
Yep, that's 3. Yep.
Okay. Let's say Louisville. Then we're just talking about who gets into the 4 spot. Let's say Louisville loses this weekend but beats Florida State in the
they cancel each other out
in the ACC title game.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Oregon.
So is it Oregon sneaking into the 4 spot? Is it Ohio State sneaking into the 4 spot? Is it Big 12 champion Texas sneaking into the 4 spot?
You just said it. Because the other 2 won't have championships, and we've been told by the committee that matters, allegedly.
So Georgia, you said Georgia won, right? Georgia did win their game.
Allegedly. That was the lead, right. Georgia, Michigan, Washington all win out. We have the other teams fighting for spot number 4 should Louisville fall this weekend.
Right. Well, then it would, I agree with you, Kyle. I think Texas would find their way in because of the Big 12 championship.
It would be Oregon because Oregon would have lost to Washington again in the scenario.
They would have got.
They would have 2 losses.
Yeah. Right.
So 2 would. Oh no, they wouldn't.
Okay, well then let's. So Georgia wins out, Michigan wins out.
Yeah.
Louisville loses this weekend, but beats Florida State. Oregon beats Washington in the Pac-12 title game. Do both of those teams get in if it's close?
Oregon gets in, yes.
Texas gets in along with Oregon.
Would get in. So Oregon would go to 3. Texas would get to 4.
Correct.
I don't know. I also don't know about that.
For clarity, the only way that I see Texas getting in is as a 4. Let me be clear.
I feel like though I feel like Washington's resume, though, may actually save him in that scenario.
EJ Christian, this committee has not respected Washington's resume until this goddamn week. If they lose to Oregon, that is done.
Good point.
But they couldn't use the Oregon win early in the year as an advantage plus the resume?
No, because they haven't done it before.
They haven't done it yet. Why would they start now? And especially in a scenario where Oregon wins big over Washington, it's out the goddamn window, buddy.
If it's close, maybe.
But still no, because no.
Because I'm thinking about TCU last year when they lost their game and they still got in. Remember they lost the Big 12 game and they still got in.
No. I remember the entire that, and I see the juxtaposition you're trying to make. The thing is, there's more cream at the top this year than there was last year.
Yeah, we got to remember last year was a year where pretty much everything below 3 and 4, really the bottom really fell out at the end of the season.
Correct.
Which would really cause the chaos that it resulted in Ohio State backdooring in.
Well, you just said it there too. Also, I think Ohio State might be the 4th team actually.
No.
That's what sucks.
I mean, you would need Texas to lose in the Big 12 title game. You would need, the Pac-12 game to be a blowout because again, Ohio State's going to be sitting there idle on championship weekend,
right?
Which won't be overlooked. And again, with more,
it's been overlooked before.
It has more quality at the top this year. I think would keep them out without chaos starting this week.
So that scenario, Georgia's unbeaten. You said right, or Georgia's still unbeaten, Michigan unbeaten, and then you said Washington unbeaten still.
No, he's saying if Washington lost in the conference championship
to
Oregon,
who's the third unbeaten that lasts?
There isn't.
There's 2 unbeatens only in the scenario,
right?
Oh,
well, and
because in that scenario we were assuming that Florida State loses to Louisville. Louisville had lost to Kentucky. Texas already has a loss. Bama would then have 2 losses. Washington with a loss. Oregon's got a loss already. Yeah, it would be 2 undefeated teams at the top.
In this scenario, it's really a 3. Yes, 3. It's really 3 teams you're considering. It's Ohio State.
Ohio State wouldn't get in. It would be Oregon and Texas. They would let in the other conference.
Texas, the other one, right? Yeah.
It would only get really hairy if Texas lost to Oklahoma.
No, to Kyle's point, Texas might really be the serious case there.
Well, Texas being locked in that 7 spot for the last, since the playoff rankings have come out every week, has told us that they are going to be the last one in if things above them get silly. That's what the committee's told us.
Right.
So that doesn't mean they'll be consistent, but hey, what do you expect from a committee of a bunch of active athletic directors?
I say Ohio State because of the fact that the committee always finds a way to get their asses in there just because. Just cause.
No, okay. You're citing 2 seasons, one where they got in over conference champion Penn State, where Ohio State
should have that year.
Where Ohio State was the better team. Penn State fans can get mad at me all they want. Shut the fuck up and deal with it.
Damn.
Last year they got in because of everything. Again, everything below that 4 spot.
USC fucked up.
The bottom that fell out. Thank you, Utah. The bottom that
I blame you.
And Alabama having 2 losses. I blame Brian Kelly. So that's why Ohio State got in last year.
I thought Ohio State should have been in last year. I'll be honest.
I mean, if it wasn't for Marvin Harrison Jr. getting hurt in the national title game, Ohio State would have been your national champion.
He ain't lying.
So
basically,
somehow the committee sadly did get it right as we look back in hindsight. But
basically, if you're a Knowles fan, this is simple. You take care of your business.
Yeah,
stop points. Obviously,
that's all you can do. At Florida State, that's all you can do. You have 2 games in front of you. Win them both.
And you want Georgia to win out because by having Georgia win out, it eliminates all the extra possible baggage below you. So by Georgia winning out,
Georgia to win out.
Yeah, you want Georgia to win out.
You want you want the result. Whatever's going to happen with the game this weekend.
Yeah.
But Florida State just has to do their job.